morning there. You're watching QTV this morning, and I am Diana Mosonko, joined by my amazing co-host here, Ibrahim Abalde, and our newspaper review guest, Mamadou Mbodj. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen.
Yes, it's good to be here. It's Tuesday and Wednesday.
Wednesday la week bi dafa gaaw xam nga Monday public holiday la
Oh, okay. Monday bi génn na fa.
Monday génn na.
Léegi Tuesday romba na tey mooy Wednesday. Kon jeex na tak ñëwaat nañ. It's good to be here.
It's another Wednesday.
It's another Wednesday. Comme Baboucarr Cissé num ko dee waxee, no need to queue at the bank anymore. So we are back. Yes.
Mr. Mbodj, thank you for joining us.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes. So yeah. How did you spend your public holiday? We're just catching up after that.
I've got a very boring life now, really. I don't go anywhere. I just chill in one place. So for me, it's the same whether it's a holiday or not.
Yeah, it's just work.
Same monotony.
Yeah. But you complimented my dress.
Yes, I know. I love the floral.
It's beautiful. Xam nga man dama like lu oyof. Wow, not oyof rek. Lu oyof. Dress bu oyof.
Flower yi lañu wax waxuñu oyofay dress wala tigaay dress.
Waaye dafa baatam pour nga wax lu oyof. Xam nga dress bi dafa oyof. That's the geographical nature of the dress. Let's talk about it. Let's compliment it. Mr. Mbodj loved the flowers. I love the oyofness of the dress. So,
casual, smart.
So no, Harold, now you are trying to deny me my fundamental human right.
Why dress bi oyofut nak de gisulo.
Mala.
Li oyofut gisulo.
Oyof na de.
Dafa oyof ni.
Si man oyof na.
Ah, waaye dafa neex ci yaram.
Wow. So na oyof rek. Na oyof rek yow kay del oyofar rek. You know, so we are back. Tey dama jaay Mr. Mbodj gaaw si suba.
Waaw.
Xam nga running order bi si suba si laa ko sen.
Waaw.
So bu ma ko senee rek ma call ko. Ma ne ko ne Mr. Mbodj yaa war a nekk on the show de.
Waaw.
Mu ne man ubbiwuma ko sax. So mu ngi mel ni moom dafa fogoon ne démba la ko yónnee. So tey si suba tey laa ko mu ne ma loo maa xëy ni
No ma hey, wow, because we love to have him here, and whenever he's here, it's fun.
So dama la jaay gaaw Mr. Mbodj.
Waaw, noonu la. Yes.
Li si des waxuloo ko.
Waaw fekk nag moom jóg na bu yàgga.
Ma ne la xamoon naa ne ni ngeen ma fa teg tey so maa ko prepare.
Already, yow gisoon nga ko, séntu woon nga ko. Yeah, so Ibrahim, what is our African proverb?
Yes. It reads, to circumcise the leopard is not the problem, but who is going to hold him down to be circumcised?
Duma ko laal.
Harafal ko loolu du problème bi de. Waaye kan moo ko téye teg ko si table bi. Téye gaynde. Téye tede. Be harafal ko. Loolu mooy problème bi.
No, proverbe bi du dem.
Bi dafa stop. To circumcise the leopard, it's not the problem, but who is going to hold him down to be circumcised?
Wow. Comme lii mu ngi xaw a reflect just yesterday luñ doon waxtaane mooy ne dañ dee put plans in place, you know, am suñ documents yu baax design ko bam correct, you know, stakeholders yi yëpp ñëw toog ñu attend suñ workshop ñu fay ñu suñ padiem waaye time liggéey su jotee pour ñu implement those documents that we have in place. Kenn du nangoo take the lead. Ku nekk daf dee def blame game. Understand nga? And when the moment we do that, we are not heading anywhere. Then leopard bi kenn du ko teg si suuf circumcise ko. Ah dinañ wax ne rek ne leopard bi dañ ko war a circumcise waaye ñenn koo téye pour ñu circumcise ko su amutee circumcision bi du am. Loolu rek la.
Wow, loolu la. It's telling you, Lee is talking about bravery. It's telling you taking up responsibilities. Like comme noo ko waxee, you know, you have to be responsible. You have to take up loo war a def nga def ko. Because xam nga anyway ñu ngi laa woon si proverbe in this context leopard bi foog ñu circumcise ko anyway. You know, as far as you know.
Not foog ñu circumcise ko anyway.
Mention nañ ko.
Waaw mention nañ ne circumcision bi dafa war a am mooy problème bi. But then duñ ko def.
So it's telling you a job have to be done. Am liggéey bu nekk
waxi neen rek wax kese du
liggéey bu nekk si table bi foog ñu fulfill ko. I mean foog rek kenn def ko Mr. Mbodj.
Yeah, absolutely. When I first read it, I laughed. It was funny because I thought, I mean, who would ever dare think about I'm circumcising a leopard? that was funny. But it reminded me of a Wolof one as well. Yekal gaynde neex na waaye yóbbu ko. It's really more or less saying
gaynde moom soo taawee si grillage yi rek nga sànni ko.
Grillage waaye xam nga koo yekkal xam nga nit boo koo yekkal da nga koo yóbbu si taraanga ba si booram.
No, the idea is things are easier said than done.
Things are easy said than done.
Essentially, that's what we're saying. And it's the same wall of version.
Mr. Boy, then they problem si pronunciation ni wo libitam leopard.
Some people say leopard.
Wow,
no.
then they
most of
us say leo because that is how we were taught. Yeah, but that's not the right pronunciation.
You know? So, I mean, we pronounce it that way. I mean, wow, so
so you mean your teachers said leopard instead
time
of
in school
leopard?
No, leopard ken waxu ko fi won de.
Extraordinary.
ñun waxante dëgg ñun ñoo fi nekk. Déedéet waaye ñu na fi nekk yéen tamit.
Suma teacher mu ngi xool.
ñu ngi xool waaye am na mistakes, grammatical mistakes yoo xam ñun ñëpp xam nañ ne. While we were growing up, so school si lañ ko jàngee. Ñu waxante dëgg.
So ñun xam nga dañ grow ñu ko mention as leopard. Xam nga. You have your own way of mentioning it.
Mom nim ko waxe nonu mo right.
Wow, that's the right leopard, British way of mentioning it.
Let's try to be clear here. British way, Gambian way, whatever way. You go to school and you are taught certain conventions. If there is perhaps a reason to change the convention, then let's talk about that. Until then, just use it conventionally. You know what I mean? It's leopard. So, because we are going to fall into this trap where we begin to relativize everything. Oh, that's your way, and this is my way. Oh, that's your way, and this is my way. Then how do you teach? What does it mean to teach?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very, very funny way of being a nation. Well, that will be extremely funny.
I think sometimes...
Because weird. The family, you have your way when that's not supposed to be the case.
Are you forming a community?
No. The problems that we have, come noko wahe, sometimes school will adore, you know, because man pronunciation bini, understand? Man nila ko muna pronounce. Understand? So nila ko jange.
No, it doesn't.
Hamna that's the right way. Hamga nini dañoo janga. Ñu ne janga du je. Understand nga? So tay janga na. Dama try to avoid pronouncing it that way, to pronounce it this way. Why dama la won ne ñaata schools ñoo nekk di make the same mistake. I mean, xam nga rek dama foog ne teacher am na yenn teacher yoo xam ne dañ leen war a set to a standard boo xam ne dafa dimbale xale yi. You know?
Xam nga la na ñaaw loolu suñ society ba ko def Ibrahima, you know why? Fii xale suy mag dañ la won already ne soo nekkee teacher yow failure nga. Dañ la won ne yow sa grade si su baaxutee si collège bi nga dem pour nekk teacher, yow sa grade si su baaxee yow demal UTG. Loolu already dañ def segregation boobu xale yi di mag am mindset bi ne waa ku fi nekk teacher rek lii nga. Te loolu dafa war a ci.
But this is very, very funny because when you go back a few generations, the brightest used to be the teachers.
True.
So
I'm talking about current dynamics.
I know what you mean. There was a structure here, but it's important to know how was the ecology like to have such a mindset where the brightest would become teachers? We know that things have changed, but this is all part of what I would call national memory. We did it, you know, somebody else didn't. It's all part of our memory. So it's important to refer back to that rather than to refer to the bad examples. We've had good examples.
That is true, but I'm talking about what's happening at this point in time.
So what has gone wrong?
Yeah.
Why is this
happening? I think it's the...
So let's be careful.
It's the quality of education. Back then, danga gis ne comme our parents, ñom luñ démé school during the early 60s, 70s.
You mean colonial times, just the border be known, just before independence, all right?
Danga gis ne ñom luñ démé school because tay surprisingly, danga gis ne my dad went to school, understand nga? But there are things in a sometimes suma gisee word bi ma mention ko suma da daf ko dee define xam na lu mean waaye ñun da nga gis ne most of the time we rely on social media, we rely on the internet to search for words waaye ñoom duñ doon def loolu ñoom soo ko waxee word bi rek dañ la ko defineal lu mean.
Okay, granted. Now let's contextualize this. Words, would I say leopard or leopard? Fine, it depends on how you say it. What's mattering, of course, but the ideas matter more. Don't focus on the words too much, but perhaps the whole sentence to get the idea. You will have some people here, they're not very good with language. They will falter. but again, they express interesting ideas. So try to look beyond the word, get to the idea, and be charitable. You said leopard. I wouldn't hold it against you because I know exactly what you're talking about. We've communicated. Yeah? We have difficulty in how to pronounce it, but we've communicated. We're referring to the same thing. So, not the word so much as the idea.
Yep. So,
absolutely.
Yes, gentlemen, so to circumcise the leopard is not the problem, but who is going to hold him down to be circumcised? Let's find out who will lead the way.
Only the brave.
Only the brave. The determined. We'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll head right on to the newspaper review. Do stay tuned.
Q Money, the biggest mobile money service in the Gambia, has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now, you can link your Q Money wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your Q Money wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using Q Money Bank Link is the fastest, most secure, and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. Yes, Ibrahim, now we head right on to the newspaper review.
Yeah, and we have the Foroya. It reads, widow vows to sue after death of her husband in police custody. And of course, court to set rule on bail application of Bob Keita's ex-wife. And we also have recent heavy downpours affect households in URN. Residents of Tabokoto urge NAWEC to restore their taps. And of course, Gambia, Cuba to sign MOU in area of higher education. And we have the editorial, the dire consequence of lack of planning. Yes, that's what we have.
Yes, so here we have that a study reveals prevalence of acute kidney diseases among children. And also lawyer Sagat brands Mal 2 prison champion of human rights violation. This is obviously the case, the lawyer defending Zainab Mumbai there when it comes to the Baby Mohammed case. And the Edward Francis Moore Teaching Hospital reports rare medical condition already causing death among children. So yes, that is all we have here.
Okay, we also have another Foroya editorial. It reads, thus the National Disaster Management Agency have a stock of materials.
Okay, so yes, so Mr. Mboj, here, you know, putting this case aside generally, we're talking about how Mal 2 prison can be a champion of human rights violation for any, you know, individual. We've seen the revelations from the TRRC, you know, other bodies have also come to investigate, you know, the condition, bringing in some form of support, but still it is what it is, you know, quite sad.
Yes, I mean, given here, let's take the context here, the person saying it.
Yes.
The lawyer Sagar Jahate, remember she was at the TRRC, and they really exposed the squalid nature of Mile 2, at least at that period. That was the period under review, or they were investigating. So now, what she's saying is that what we know of Mile 2, it is really unconscionable to send anybody there. So making an argument, building a case around that, so that perhaps would have her client would bail, to get bail for herself. So is it so? Is it a champion of human rights violation still now, 2022? The judge will decide that. It's not for us to decide.
Not for us to, but putting aside this particular case, the evidence is there. We've seen it.
Yes. Have we had any changes recently? I know that during the TRRC Commission, during their sittings, they had at points gone to visit, and I think they had agreed with the authorities to make certain changes. How much of it has been done? Where I'm sitting right now, I do not have the evidence. I haven't seen much. So I have to be very careful, wary in what I say. So that's why I said that whether it is still that champion of human rights violations, Well, it will depend. It will depend on empirical evidence. Let's go and see. If we are journalists, let's go and see. And then the courts will decide as well. I really do not know now how things are. It will be unfair for me to pass judgment on that.
If the Mile 2 prison is still a champion of human rights
I know that.
violation.
Let's put things in context as well. Our Mile 2 prisons, or many prisons in certain countries, they're never going to be like prisons in Sweden or anywhere else. Let us be honest with ourselves.
That is true.
We tend to be more punitive, as it were, you know, when it comes to the judiciary, when it comes to adjudication and passing judgment on people, to legal stuff, and even our attitudes. We tend to be more punitive than reform and the like. And I'm sure some people will say, why are we spending so much money on Mile 2? These criminals. We all know our attitudes. So you are never going to have the ideal situation. So things can only relatively improve.
Yeah.
It's never going to be like a hotel.
Oh, no, we're not asking.
Yeah, but I mean,
we're not asking for Mile 2 to be a hotel. But it's supposed to be.
It is supposed to be a rehabilitation center.
That's that's all we're asking.
That is one idea amongst many. When you talk to lawyers, the reasons, you know, for detention, they will tell you all sorts of things to protect society, to do this, to do that. You've got many reasons why we lock people up. So if you want to privilege one reason over the rest, that is your choice. But in reality, what obtains? Yeah, but I can talk about my idealism. I can talk about ideas as we do all the time.
But the issue of these are criminals, that's not. People should not even go there.
I think
these are criminals. They have to live
at some point,
unhealthy environment.
Criminals also have right at some point.
Do.
I mean, I don't think it is a wise idea for people to just segregate them at one corner. Yes, they have freedom sometimes. That's why they're taking you to jail, for you to, I mean, feel, I mean, the pains of the things that you have already done. You understand? But at some point, prisoners also have their right. We all know it's not a hearsay. Mile 2 is one of the worst places a human being can live. We've seen it. I mean, the TRRC, they have shown everything. We've seen everything.
And you know how we should treat Mile 2?
And when the Barrow government came, we were expecting there will be changes. And still, it's the same or even worse.
How do you know that?
Well, I mean, we've been receiving pictures. I have a picture of Mile 2 where you have the remand wing. I have a picture of the remand wing. And it's recent. And it's terrible.
And the meals, everything the same.
Well, I'm talking
for the meals, we're not getting
not the meals. I'm not talking about the meals. I'm talking about their residence, where they live.
And that sort of
thing.
I have a picture of it.
Well, I was not expecting anything to change in that department because you're still in the same building, unless perhaps they have to build another one. But you have to use the structures you have
to develop it.
You have to use the structures you have, depending on what money you have. That's always going to be a question of money. But
considering the coming of the TRRC, should have been part of priorities as to changing the narrative there.
Well, part of priorities. There are so many priorities, if you put it that way. Every area potentially is a priority because every area needs attention right now. So this is what you face.
We are talking about human rights violations.
You have a full plate of priorities, if you like, but again, you have finite resources.
Yeah, but the reason why I'm saying this should be a priority is because this is a country coming from autocratic rule, and the Mile 2 was actually used as, you know, a weapon. So then what's the meaning of the transitional justice we're talking about if it's still the same thing?
Okay, let's get the obvious things out. Now, they don't use it there to torture anymore, obviously.
Obviously, yes. But just the conditions.
So the obvious ones are out.
True.
Well, with the conditions, I was never for a moment deluded. I knew that it was going to take a lot of time. That is why we say institutional reform. Why the need to reform? Because things have gone so badly wrong. But again, the nature of reform itself is just so slow, particularly given our society right now, how the country is right now. For a long time, we suffered a lot of brain drain. So it's going to be an extremely difficult transition.
Sure.
We all had this sort of euphoric, almost wishful thinking that New Gambia now knew this. Oh, yeah. People had no idea how difficult it was going to be. This is going to take a very long time.
Yeah.
So we'll all be disappointed for a very long time.
Yeah. That is true. Expectations were high without really us understanding that it's a process.
The reality on the ground is quite rotten. Some people might say.
It is. So, Ibrahima,
I have a story here, and it reads, widow vows to sue after death of her husband in police custody. Yasin Baji, widow of late Fakeba Koli, who died in police, told Foroya at her residence in Bundun that she will sue the police following the death of her husband in police custody. I will not leave the matter like that because it is painful. I will also sue the police for the inhuman manner they treated on him. Yeah, so a lady is also planning to sue the police force, alleging that her husband died in their custody.
Even before that, the police themselves, if such a thing happened, I suspect that it is in the law, really. Any death in custody must be investigated. If such a thing happened, it must be investigated, whether it shouldn't take the woman to go to court for that. That's just simple practice. So we must insist on that. People must look into this case. Journalists go and follow this, what's going on. Did such a thing happen? Did a person die under police custody? And then what have the police done about it? It's just as simple as that, and they must.
Yeah, I think, I mean, this is the work of the journalist to go and find out why and how did he die in police custody.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, Jenna, any other thing?
Yeah, that's all I have. That's why basically we had to spend a lot of time on the force headline.
Yes. I mean, Gambia, Cuba to sign MOU in area of higher education. You know, I've seen the Minister of Higher Education, Professor Per Gomez here, with some Cuba officials.
Yeah.
So how do you think this is going to benefit the Gambia? I mean, Cuba-Gambia, it's an old relationship. It's not today. I mean, I think there was a time we invited a gentleman here.
Yeah.
We're talking about Cuba, the relationship between Cuba and the Gambia. You know, do you think there is impact, Mr. Mboj?
Oh, obviously, come on, the Cuban doctors, that's obvious, isn't it? But the relationship, and you look at Cuba, when it comes to education, haven't they got, what, 99% or so, something like that? It's extraordinary.
That's why it is.
It's extraordinary, this small country, really, I mean, having that burly bear, as it were, the US next door, and then it's been trying to throttle you all this time, but they survived. They're able to build institutions. It's quite extraordinary. Perhaps we can learn a lot from the Cuban model. You know, can you imagine with all that, all the odds against all the odds, now they export expertise. That's extraordinary, really. So there's much that we can learn from them, including the seriousness. You know what I mean? Che Guevara, one of the builders, when he was sent, he came over to the Congo, I think it was in the 60s, and then he left. He said, people don't like talking about this much, he said that Kabila wasn't serious. And when I look at some of our leaders, they're not really serious. I think that's a key. On the one hand, I will talk up our patriotism, we are developing, we are doing this. But behind the scenes, you know that you are stealing. You are cheating. You know what I mean? So once you've got that seriousness, Cuba demonstrates it. Once you have a certain seriousness in your leadership, you can do things. And you can do things, really. But with us, with one hand, we talk of patriotism and all that. On the left, we are doing things that undermines
Mr. Boy,
what the right hand is doing.
It reminds me the way our African setting is. I mean, in Africa, most of the time we all brag. I mean, Africa, you know, it's a land of natural resources. You know, we have this, we have that, we have gold, we have oil, we have this. But I mean, Africa still remains to be the poorest in the world.
But what don't we do? Everybody knows what you do.
Yeah.
The foreigner comes, we collude, some of us anyway, the elites, those in positions. So they collude with the foreigner. So the foreigner will exploit, but again, they are getting their kickback. They are all right.
Absolutely.
So we've been made to be quite selfish. It's the colonial experience, I don't know, but it's very weird.
I read something on one
strange.
media outlet in Nigeria. I mean, I was just going through it. I mean, when I saw fuel shortage in Nigeria, I mean, that really hit me hard, Mr. Mboj. I mean, Nigeria, they have oil. How can there be fuel shortage?
Ironic, isn't it? So most of that oil is exported. You know what I mean? You got to have all the industries to turn that oil into something else, into so many different things, but no industries. It's extraordinary. So what you're supposed to do, we're not doing
When
it.
you look at the United States, their oil reserve, I mean, their oil reserve is 50 years. It's gonna serve them for more than 50 years.
I mean, that's a bit too far. The U.S. is big. I don't even need to go there. But from what we can see here, one could be elsewhere. Things could have been better, at least better than this. Nobody's asking for perfection or the promised land. What does that mean? But strive to be better. That's all.
Ibrahim, is that all?
Yeah, that's all we have today on this program. Mr. Mboj, thank you.
Mr. Mboj, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
All right, so we'll go for a short break and we'll be right back and the program continues.
As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, Qcel has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. Qcel, the Gambia's trusted network. Save up to 50% energy with the new side-by-side Samsung refrigerator. Samsung air conditioners come with HD filter and antibacterial for your protection. Save time, energy, and effort by using our washing machines, loaded with innovative features that offer superior cleaning technology. Step into the future of television with our slick and slim Samsung Smart TV designs. Sizes range from 32 to 85 inches. Smart LED, Crystal UHD Ultra High Definition, and QLED Quantum Dark LED. Get new ways of interacting with your TV. Unparalleled vision, right from the comfort of your living room. Our products are backed with 1-year warranty. Visit us at Qcel Building at Caraba Avenue or at Bruce V Turntable. Contact us on 333-217 or email us at info@quantumnet.gm. Have you been looking for the perfect indoor router with long-range Wi-Fi coverage and faster internet speed connecting all your smart devices? Well, we present to you the Qcel Indoor Router, a router that has all you need and much more. For just $4,275, you can get 4G plus internet speed, wide coverage, and connect up to 15 devices. That's not all. The indoor router can be used for both office and home needs. So, enhance your internet experience with our indoor router. For more info, call our customer care on 111. Qcel, Sunyabus, we innovate, others follow.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
To build,
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
light makes things easier and better.
So Qcel has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new Qcel Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With a touch of your fingers,
With ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
Qcel Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back from that break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. Ibrahim, so we have Omar Cisse here, founder of Kids Got Talent. But today, mainly, we'll get to talk about Kids Got Talent, but the most important thing for me today is how really a young person is able to come up with an initiative to, understand that kids need to be nurtured when they're young, to grow up with their talents. And that is what this particular organization has been doing for so long. So through Catch Them Young. So thank you so much, Omar, for joining us on the program. So to start with, how did this whole initiative come about?
All right. Thank you very much, Jay, for having me. It came through University of the Gambia Leadership Fellowship.
Okay.
Obviously, students at the time were trained on leadership.
Right.
But also part of being a leader is to be able to identify societal ill and just find a solution to it in your own way.
Yeah.
So I've been very passionate about child rights issues, coupled with Aissatou Elitsa Jallow, obviously IJS. So we came together because obviously we had a common interest, which was to create a platform for children.
Right.
And at the time, what we thought of was a TV program for children, because we felt that there was no platform on TV that was kind of empowering children.
Right.
And then we had a TV spot with a particular television station. Along the way, it didn't work through.
Okay.
And then we came back again to say, this hasn't gone through, what else do we do?
Yeah.
So we thought of co-founding an organization called Catch Them Young, which provides platform for children to nurture them, but also try to popularize laws that protect and promote the rights and well-being of the children. So this is, in short, how Catch Them Young was founded.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you identify these children? How do you catch them young? I mean, yes, how do you
so
do that?
that's a beautiful question. I mean, Catch Them Young, because it is an organization, we have series of activities. And one of them happens to be the Kids Got Talent. And then for us to have the kids and for us to catch them young, most of them enter through the Kids Got Talent platform, which is supposed to be a mentoring and a nurturing platform for people that are interested in poetry, that are interested in public speaking, spelling bee, and also music and dance.
Yeah.
So when they go through a 6-month period of training and a competition, at the end of the day, the competition ends. So, but this is not where the journey ends for these children. So we take them through, put them on board, where they receive continuous training, continuous mentorship through some of our platforms like Catch Them Young Speaker Series. Also platforms like Kids Go Green, but yeah, QTV, obviously. We've been able to send a lot of kids to do that, but also we've been able to partner with QTV for 2 consecutive editions to air Kids Got Talent, which really gave us the needed visibility that we needed. So in short, this is how the kids enter through the organization.
So how has it been, you know, just following up on the children, lack of funding in the country? It's quite difficult, you know, looking at the amount of kids that you get to mobilize and all of that.
I mean, yeah, so it's been very fulfilling because a lot of the kids that have been on the platform have been really doing amazingly well. I mean, 2-3 days ago, I was at work and a parent called me and said, is this Omar? I'm like, yeah. So I'm actually calling to just say thank you. And I was like, okay. And then he went further to say, when my child wanted to come on that platform, I was totally against it. But after he came there, I've seen the growth that he has gone through. Now that he finished high school, he's in the university. I am like really proud of the young man he's turning into. And that's just one of the stories out of the thousands of stories that the parent continues to tell us. So we're also looking at these kids and then the growth, having them, I mean, the time that they enter the competition, when they leave, and what they are able to do in their schools and their communities and things like that. It's really something that warms my heart. I mean, yesterday seeing Aissatou Jallow getting the Chief Noon Scholarship, I was really happy because I know how much work myself and then the team had put in place to ensure that these kids are supported. So getting part of the reward for the leadership and for what you do for your community, I was really happy. And Aissatou is actually, you know, the first person from the team that got such a prestigious scholarship.
Really?
So yeah, so this is to say that the kids and then the team members are all progressing, because I mean, when you help people to some point, God has its way of sending the same help back to you. So yeah, this is what it has been for the kids. And I think I am super proud to always see them through your platform as well. Being on TV, you're doing stuff that I could have never imagined the time we were founded, that these kids will be able to do that. That brings me a lot of joy.
And you know, I saw Aissatou Aliu how she, when I went to the Marina International graduation, she was part of the speakers, looking at her like how little she used to be, like when, you know, she was joining the Kids Got Talent, and who she has become, you know. So I think really the journey has been really fulfilling. You know, it's tangible. Like these are things, these are success stories that you can, you know, just point out to say. So how do you, you know, select mentors and also judges? Because I'm going to Gambia V, I'm going to live in it, I'm going to pay my halis. So we're just trying to bring out the challenges here.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, generally, let me start with funding. Funding has been a very huge challenge. I mean, yesterday a parent sent me a message saying that what activity do you have in the summer, because I want to get my kids engaged. We have a lot on the pipeline, but we don't have money to execute it. And to be honest, there are a lot of good people out here that will volunteer their time, but at the end of the day, it's always not about the time. The money is needed to execute some of these things. So that has been a very big challenge. But I mean, I work with a team that is very dedicated, even though resources is a challenge, but we still go regardless. So for how the judges are usually selected, initially what we were doing was to just look out for young people that are doing amazingly well in the different areas. For example, public speaking, initially we selected the likes of Fatmata Cisse, Alpha Low, and Mustafa Ka, who really positioned themselves extremely well in the world of public speaking and things like that. And they've been working with us for 4 consecutive years without having asking for anything. So I'm sending them shout out if they're watching this.
So these are young people supporting
exactly. And then the other areas, the likes of Jamajak, Hadi Jonga, Omar Champion Cham, Cherno, Yamalen, among so many bright young people, even Fatu Elika Muluchi, first edition, she was a judge, among so many young people that volunteer their time, resources obviously, to come and support us. And at this time also, people like Lala Toure, who willingly came on board to support a whole edition with cash prize and also a trophy. So many young people, because I believe that they believe this is a platform that is empowered in the future, so they come on board to support. That is there, but that hasn't taken away the main challenge, which is resources. I mean, if we look at the number of years Kids Got Talent has been existing, compared to other platforms in other countries like the Saint Petit Gale, the Talented Kids in Ghana, those are like the bigger platforms.
And sponsors are coming from all over the place.
And when the kids win, they're on national platforms. When there is independence celebration, I don't know, state dinners and things like that, these kids are there performing and things like that, brand ambassadors for children-related brands and things like that. That sort of motivate the kids, it motivate the parents to come on board. Unfortunately, none of this exists for us here. It's only a few platforms like QTV and some television stations that reach out to get the kids, give them the platform to be heard, but also support them to do certain things that they probably think they could never be able to do. So, but yes, the challenges exist, and I hope at some point, like the way you people saw value in the platform, other people will see value in the platform to come on board, support, but also give the kids the voice, the opportunity to be brand ambassadors, to advertise products that are, because these kids, I mean, they're smart, they're brilliant, but they also have their own followership in their own little way. Because when you go to Marina, you talk about Aissatou Aliou Aw. A lot of kids, in fact, I think she graduated as the best student. You go to Nusrat, you talk about Fatima BCC. And all Emmanuel, Excel. So these kids are doing their own thing. So having them, giving them a platform, making them brand ambassadors, inviting them to state organized occasions will motivate a lot more other kids.
Omar, my question now is there then a label or something where they're going to be signed up through Catch Them Young? Because we do not want, because I'm the exploitation, we need follow-ups for people. If this happens, comes to where I am, for example, Saint Petit Gale, Senegal, it's like kind of a thing where it's structured. You have to talk to certain people and get the things done. So is that going to be the same thing in this case?
Absolutely. I mean, anytime you need a child, even when you contact their parents directly, they will send you back to us. Yes, because we've had that mutual understanding. So ensure that nobody is exploiting these kids. Nobody is actually taking them into something that we don't know. So it passes through the organization, and obviously it's only the people that we trust and know. Those are the people we send the kids to. If it's a new initiative, you need to send us all the details about the initiative. The team will go through, assess, obviously, to see whether this is a worthy platform for the kids to be on. But we also don't want a situation where people are trying to use support and a platform as a cover to exploit the kids. So we don't want platforms like that. So for all the genuine platforms that we partner with, they have come through the organization, and there's organization that take it upon themselves, know the people, contact the parents, contact the kids, and make it happen.
Let's talk about this thing generally. I understand. I mean, the name is captivating. Kids Got Talent. Catch Them Young. Let's talk about children in general. I mean, does it mean all children have a talent? There are kids that have talent and some don't have.
All of them have. All kids are born with an innate talent. It's just because, fortunately, unfortunately, we're in an environment where there are limited platforms to nurture these things. I will use Usman Fofana, for example. Usman entered Kids Got Talent on the spelling bee category. And then I think few weeks into the spelling bee, even though the child was an A student, he was very smart, he realized that he wanted to rap. And then when he told the parents, they were like, no, nobody is rapping. You're not rapping. But fortunately, her sister was at UTG at the time. And then when we engaged her, she was like, he wants to rap, right? I was like, yeah, that's what he said. So let him rap. And he did. He did it so well that he ended up winning the competition. But from the competition, where did he go? So that ended up becoming maybe the end until maybe later in life when he wants to pick it up. But he was an incredible rapper. He had everybody in their feet.
Look at that.
Throughout that edition.
Yes.
So yeah, they all have talents that
you can see after that competition he won. Then everything stopped there.
Yes.
You know, so this is the problem now. How are we going to move these things? I mean, such a talent should not just die down like that.
Absolutely, and I think that's why I mentioned earlier that the brands should support. Because, I mean, we are not in a position to be able to help that child after that platform to be able to nurture that talent further. If we had musicians that were interested, because I know for certain times that we've reached out to a couple of musicians to be on the platform, shout out to Barahama for willingly coming on the platform. So they have not shown interest. And if they've not shown interest, we do not have the talent ourselves to nurture these people. It's only them that probably would have seen the talent, because they're musicians, they know how the game is. So they can pick a talent like Usman, nurture it, and then let him blow. You've seen our Gambi doing incredibly well. If, I mean, Petit Gale gave him the platform, but somebody picked her up. So, I mean, I think those are the kind of things.
There's
a starting point for
and
everyone.
Also, like it or not, other structures will determine if those talents that have been identified will go far. We all know how the music industry is in the Gambia. At some point. So, if those things are not put in place, those people can't go. Senegal, the reason why it's easy for Saint Petit Gale, there's already structures. So these kids will just go. So in as much as Omar and team, you're doing quite well with what you do, other structures also have to be developed to support.
We want to get to a stage whereby, I mean, people will be copying what Gambia does. I mean, it's when they're talking about samples, they'll be taking a sample from the Gambia. You know, but it needs to start somewhere. I think with what you do, will really help, but you cannot do it alone. I mean, people should come and help you.
Absolutely. And I think in terms of being a sample, perhaps we are just not too loud about the things that we do. But I mean, our kids have been on so many platforms across Africa. Some of them have been online. I mean, I think last year, some of these kids were on Africa Spelling Bee Championship, and I think one of them came fourth. We have not been loud about that, and we've seen these kids being on some other platforms in Ghana, even though it's been online as well, but then they've done incredible. People have reached out to us in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Kenya, to just have some of these kids participate in some of their activities. That shows that they sort of recognized that there is an incredible work going on, and they want to ensure that the kids reach beyond the borders of Gambia. But like you said, we need a lot more help in terms of resources. We need a lot more help in terms of even visibility, even television stations picking up the initiative, make it theirs. So annually it is on their shows, like we've seen Talented Kids on TV3. On annual basis, we've seen Petit Gale on TFM on annual basis, and some other kids platform around the globe. So once that happens, there is a sort of an institutional ownership. So once it's part of an action plan for an institution, on yearly basis it will go. So they are able to convince more people to come on board than we will be able to. So
why QTV buy
obviously QTV I did mention that QTV is a part of it from I don't know, second up to the 4th edition. They have supported
and
us.
Whenever we have Children's Day of Broadcasting, it's
absolutely,
you know,
absolutely. I mean, you've been one of the television stations that have really given us the needed visibility, especially from the 2nd edition, because I think that's where we blew as an organization, and all thanks to QTV and obviously Kujeka. She's been an incredible person through that journey. She's been an individual that has introduced us to everyone else we needed to know to get the needed support that we had. So we're looking forward to the 5th edition with QTV as well, from the beginning up to the end, to ensure that more kids have platform.
Yeah, looking forward. You know, he's a medical person.
Oh,
man, medical
really?
person, man duñ ko indi bu duga journalism tuuti.
Wow,
man lii mënuma ko understand. Man dama fii ne Omar dafa réer. Omar dafa réer. Omar, we are talking about talent.
Not really, but I mean, I have plans of getting into health communication at some point, because
communications person.
Yeah, currently I work as a senior public relations officer for Bundung, even though my background is nursing. But then at some point, I believe that TV stations need health professionals to talk about health issues,
Right.
to moderate and coordinate health-related issues and things like that.
And
Even
our
health journalists and things like that. So,
medical
yes.
student bu
dafa
daw.
dafa defoon medical dafa demoon medicine mu
I was supposed to go to Venezuela.
Oh.
Yeah, that was way back in 2007. And I ran away.
And here you are.
Here you are.
So hopefully I'll join you.
Wow,
someday.
hopefully someday. Thank you
yeah.
so much, Omar, for joining us. We really appreciate the work that you do, and congratulations to IJ, who is part of your team, for getting the achievement. Looking forward to more and more coming from your team, because this is work that you guys do genuinely. You know, that's the most important thing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
If you will just allow me for a second, I just want to send congratulations to the rest of the team who won scholarships. I mean, some of them won scholarships, not Chiefnen as it said, but others won Swedish Institute Scholarship for Global Professionals. Others won scholarships in Italy from last year to this year. In fact, I am generally losing my team.
Because
literally everyone is getting the prestigious scholarships and they are going.
Why losing them through success?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why we are recruiting volunteers as well. And the kids, and most of them are now part of the organization. And then learning how the processes work, how we're doing stuff. And at the end of the day, they take over.
Because if things work, that is when we will know that you're a good leader. So next year I'm achieving your
Inshallah.
You hold that if you didn't them with or without him.
It definitely will go. It will go. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Omar. So we'll just go for a short break, and when we come back, the program continues. Do stay tuned.
Bigger.
Thank you, Omar.
Kanta. Now you can loan bigger credit amounts to make life easier for you. Loan $75 and $100 and pay later. Yes, you heard me right. Get credit loan from $10 to $100 using Kanta by dialing *393#. Anytime you run out of credit, whether you want to buy Q-Power, browse the internet, make urgent calls, or send SMS. Kanta is the service for you. Dial *393# and choose the loan amount of your choice with no hassle. For more information, call our customer care on 111. Qcel, Sunyabus, the pioneers of mobile loan service in the Gambia. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Check out the all-new Tigo 8 at S-Pass Motors. Call 3522-222 or 353-2222 for more information. Sharing.
All right, welcome back from that break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. So now, Ibrahim, on Community Watch, we'll be taking a look at a new development which has to do with acute kidney injury. At least 28 children die out of 35 reported cases of acute kidney injury. We are joined by Mr. Mbodunjai, of the Director of Health Promotion, to actually update us in relation to this new development that we are getting to learn about. Mr. Njai, thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Njai, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Yes.
I can hear you, Jennifer.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Njai. Can you just please quickly update us in relation to when did this start, ongoing research to actually at some point even realize that this is something that requires, you know, a red flag, you know, to inform parents that this is ongoing, and then they need to report to the nearest health center or hospital?
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me to provide some information with regards to acute kidney injury, which is really an information going around. And I think I just want to, first of all, thank you for inviting me, and also to want to assure the public that there is no need for panic or alarm with this situation. We are calling for calm as a ministry, and then we are doing our best as a ministry to continue the surveillance, to continue the investigation with regards to the prevalence of the acute kidney injury among children. As you rightly mentioned, this information has been reported to the ministry through the EFSDH hospital, and also as well as our facilities in Bansang, and then also our other facilities in the West Coast region, and then West Coast region 1 and 2, and also the Lower River region. A total of 35 cases have been reported as going to our situational report of the 8th of August 2022. And then this report indicated that 3 out of those numbers did not fall within the event case definition. Because in every situation we have a case definition, and then these 3 cases did not fall under the event case definition. And when I mean by event case definition, in this situation we mean any child less than 5 years of age with sudden failure in terms of passing urine for maybe more than 1 day, and also with this child also developing fever, diarrhea, vomiting, starting from the 24th of June to 2022 to now. So these are we're also looking at backward. We're also trying to look at records. We are doing a retrospective study to find out exactly what has been happening from the 24th of June to now. So as of 26th of July, this information came to the Epidemiology and Disease Control Unit of the Minister of Health, having the information through the Director of Health Services, who also got information from the nephrology, a concerned nephrologist. I mean by somebody who studied kidney and kidney conditions around anything to do with the kidney. That's why they started nephrologists. So the information came from that, and then looking at the cases were coming, and then they are within 5 months to 4 years, and then as this has happened, this has also ring an alarm to, in fact, the bell by the person concerned that well, I am seeing this number of cases and they are coming, and this is unusual. So this is how everything started, and then when assessment started mounting, and as I said, 35 the cases were reported, and out of the 35 cases now, we look at only 32 fall within our event case definition. So these 32 also, out of that, 28 people unfortunately died, and then resulting to a case fatality ratio of about 87.5%. This is something that we are not happy with as a ministry, but it has happened, but we are still mounting our investigation and also trying to find out more and more, looking at the contacts, looking at what is happening, what really is the cause of this condition that is really affecting children.
But this is currently...
So 7 samples were collected, and also we are taken to the lab, and we are still waiting for the results of those samples that were collected.
But this is like unique to Gambia at this point in time, nothing like this in the sub-region.
Well, for now, I think based on our information, we haven't got information from the sub-region as to whether they're also reporting, because we're also part of the surveillance hub within both the West Africa region and as well as the Africa region as a whole. So like we also report to WHO, and as they also, other countries report to WHO through their country offices and also to the regional offices. And likewise also West Africa Health Organization, WOW, and all, we all report, and that we haven't got information as to whether we have other countries are reporting a similar case. But as I said, the surveillance will now tell us, because we are also in touch with our other colleagues in the other countries, so that they can also be able to, at least as we are all moving together as a region, so we also communicate. So this is exactly what is happening. So as we get more information, we also continue to come back and update the public about what is going on.
Yes, Mr. Njai, thank you very much once again for being on the program. I just want to know, these 35 reported cases, is it throughout the Gambia or only the Greater Banjul area?
Yeah, I mentioned when I said the Western Region 1 is about, we have about 7 health regions. Hello?
Yes, we are getting you.
Yeah, we have 7 health regions in the country, and then out of the 7 health regions, 4 of the regions reported, like the Central River region, Lower River region, Western Region 1, which is the Kanifi area and Banjul, and also you have Western Region 2, that's the West Coast region from Common North down to Kalaji. So these are we've got cases from all these 4 regions in the country, out of the 7 health regions we have in this country.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
yes.
so Mr. Njai, can you please remind us just quickly before we leave you, what are some of the symptoms that parents should look out for to be able to report any case to a nearest health center or a hospital?
Our appeal to the parents and caregivers is that they should be on the watch out. They should also be vigilant. They should be monitoring for fever in children, also looking for vomiting or diarrhea. At this point in time, this is really what we are looking for, and this falls within our event case definition. So this is what we are looking for. And when they see these cases, they don't need to do anything. They just need to report to the nearest health facility. Wherever they go in this country, they'll have access to health facilities. So they shouldn't wait and sit at home and say, I want to do some home remedies, I want to do A, B, and C. Let them just report to the nearest health facility, and action will be taken. And then that will also help us to strengthen our surveillance system. Because if we don't get the information, people don't go to the health facilities, we will not be able to get the required information. So our appeal here is to ensure that parents and caregivers should look out for risk and see signs like, for example, vomiting, diarrhea, and as well as fever in children. And then if that happens, let them report to the nearest facility as soon as possible. Let them not delay, because normally delay in seeking for health services really affect us a lot, much more also the family members. So let them not delay at home. Let them make sure that they walk to the health facility immediately.
So, Mr. Njai, how long do you think it will take?
We don't want them to be involved in other activities like looking for other remedies, as I mentioned earlier on. So this is something that we want to emphasize for now. But there is no need for alarm, and there is no cause for panic at this point in time. They just need to be assured, and they need to help us to provide the right information at the right time. That's what we need from the public at this point in time.
So, Mr. Njai, how long do you think it's going to take for us to know what this is exactly, now that samples have been collected?
Yeah, when we are waiting for the samples, when the results are available, we should be able to know that what are the linkages between these conditions. So we should now be able to come out again to inform the public of the really cause of the conditions that really affected these children. But we'll come back to the public and inform them accordingly.
Yes,
we're just waiting for the results, and when they come, we'll come back and communicate to the public as on when we get
Mr. Njai, why does it take so long for you to go public? I mean, to inform the public about it. Were you concealing it?
Actually, you know, when you have conditions like this, and we got the signal from the clinicians, and when the clinicians provide the information, you don't just act on that information, but you have to do your investigation. And the investigation, that's what we are doing, and now we are sure that we have at least identified 35 cases, and then 32 of that met our event case definition, and also 28 of those people died, and 7 samples have been collected and taken to the lab, and we are waiting for the results, as I speak to you now.
Yes, Mr.
And without the assessment, without the investigation, we will not be able to know this information. And we don't want to just jump to the public to inform them on something that we didn't get the right information. Now that this is the information we have for now, and when the results are also available, we'll also come back to the public to inform them accordingly.
Mr. Njai, dañ bëggoon rek ñu dem ci kàllaama wolof ndaxte tey société ñu bari ñuy toppatoo xale ñu local language lañ dee gën a làkka dañ bëggoon rek nga wax ñu mu ngi mel ni dafa mel ni comme feebar ngeen gis te da ngeen bëgg pour ñu saafaral ko ci dëkk bi bëggoon nañ da nga wax ñu tuuti luñ doon wax ci anglais.
jërëjëf Balde comme li ma wax rek mooy nit ñi buñ déggee xibaar bi especially buñ déggee suñ press release bi ñu bari dañ xaw a ragal tuuti ñu bari daal li ñu def rek mooy fu mu nekk dañ jaaxle waaye lu ñoo wax nit ñi rek buñ ragal buñ jaaxle nañ tey rek ñu seet ne bi ko li feebar la boo xam ne dañ ko gis si suñ lopitaan bi lañ ko gis te lopitaan yoo xam ne tam area buñ ko gis mooy daanaka diggante West Coast region boor bi la boori Kanifing Banjul area boori Brikama ba dem Kalaji boori LRR and also ba boori CRR waaye li ñoo def mooy buñ defee loolu nag dañ gis ne léegi fanweeri nit ak juróomi nit ñoom sample boobu naka case boobu lañ gis waaye bu ñu gisee ñu ngi tamit nag fanweer ak ñaar ñoom ñoo nekk ñoo xam ne ñoo nekk diggante ñoo nekk am xale yoo xam ne ñu ngi juróomi at ba si suuf après ñu gis ne daal ñoo ngi nekk ñoo xam ne ñu ngi am yaram bu tànga ñu am wóccu tam ñu ngi doon ni seen biir bi daw so ñoo ngi nag ñooñu lañ gisee te di fanweer ak ñaar ñooñu nag ñaar fukki nit ak juróom-ñett ñoo gaañu si ñooñu waaye nag soo gisee mënu ñoo ñëwaangum si nit ñi wax leen li xew waaye li ñoo def mooy dañ bëgg a gëstoo ngëm te ñu ngay gëstu ñu ngay yel xibaar boo xam ne loolu la nit ñi soxla te moo tax ñu war a génne te wax nit ñi ne lii lañ gis waaye nag pour xam ne lan moo tax lii mu amaangum ba léegi ñu si liggéey boobu nag ñu suñu gars yi ñu si kawam di géem a di seet di wax nit ñi ne di laajte tamit di xam tamit su boobaa ñu mun a xam lan moo waral feebar bi ne tey so léegi si diggante boobu nag nit ñi dañ ñoo baalal tamit ne ku gis feebar bii boo xam ne mu si xale mu ngi nekk xale boo xam ne mu ngi juróomi at ba si suuf mu am yaram bu tànga mu am tamit ne biir bu daw mu ngi gis na tamit mu ngi woccu li nga def ne mooy bul ragal bul tiit dawal rek si lopitaan bu la gën a jegeñ foo dem si Gambie bi lopitaan boo dem rek dañ la mën a toppatoo li nga soxla su boobaa nag xibaar boobu tam li nga war a jël si yow dañ mun a am waaye soo waree toog si kër gi ba mu yàgga nga ne damaa def yeneen saafara ma def yeneen yoo xam ne man a xaaral ma def lii pour xale bi ñu seet ba wàññi yaram bu tàng bi mbaa ma def xaaral ma def lii pour ñu gis ne wëcc bu taxaw mbaa xaaral ma def lii pour ñu gis ne biir bu daw bi taxaw li nga defee mooy da nga daw dem si lopitaan bi ñoom dinañ xam na ko fu mu nekk loolu la ñu utangum dañ bëgg a xam lan moo waral feebar bi waaye suñ nit ñi ñëwuñ si lopitaan bi ñun tam duñu mun a xam lan moo waral feebar bi tam duñu mun a xam kan moo ko am
waaw
lii lañ bëggoon la ñu ngi dimbale ñu bu baax ñun taw si lu gaaw dem lopitaan buñ toog si kër gi ba mu yàgga
monsieur Ndiaye dañ bëggoon a xam gestu bi ndax ñaata fan la feebar bi di def si yarami xale bi balaa mu koo lor
dañ gis ne taat mais su lii amee si xale diggante benn fan sax mun na koo lor moo tax ñu ne su nekkee gis nga woccu yaram bi tànga biir bu daw ba ëpp benn fan li nga def rek mooy soo demul si lu gaaw diggante benn semaine sax mun na koo rey soo da ngaa gis ne diggante boobu nag loolu nga warutaa nangu soo gisee loolu am rek li nga def mooy dawal si lopitaan bi nga war a am li nga ndimbal bi nga war a am nga am ko si lu gaaw
xam nga fi mu nekk ni Mr Ndiaye ñun mënuñoo xam ndax lii bactériel la ndax viral la xam nga so yan measures la lopitaan itam di put in place pour cases yooyu su amee ñu def the proper isolation proper mechanisms in place because bu dee xam loo xam ne la dafa waale tamit xamaguñ research bi is still ongoing you know yan sarta lañ tëddal pour loolu
because wax ne léegi koo xam ne am nga gis nga mandarga yi dawal dem lopitaan soo defee loolu dañ ñoo gën a dimbali ñu mën a xam bi ko fi mu nekk ni ñu ngay gëstu bi dem na si lab bi te du sos bi ñu ngi koo séntu c'est bés bu ñëwee rek dinañ mën a xam dëgg lii de moom lii moo ko waral te lii ak lii la jógee su boobaa nag ñu commencé nag di joxe xibaar boobu tam boo xam ne loolu lañ war a def
dafa war a gaaw de
ñu mën a koo saafara
dafa war a gaaw de Mr Ndiaye
ñu ñëpp ñu ngay gëstu gum
waaw dafa war a gaaw
li ñoo gën a mën a yomba si ñun mooy nit ñi ni ñu war a dimbale génn si suñ gisee mandarga nañ daw def lopitaan si lu gaaw
waaw waaye dafa war a gaaw de yéen tamit seen studies bi Mr Ndiaye because xam nga nii la affaire de spread
waaw sample bi nag li ma wax mooy am na joo xam ne mën nañ ko toor waaye am na sample yëpp bay dem yónni nañ ko
amul Gambia Mr Ndiaye kañ la ñoo génn si loolu
Dakar la nekk so am na sample fu lañ ko war a yóbbu
fan ngeen ko yóbbu Dakar
non xam nga suñu sample yu bari sample yooyu nag fu ñu yóbbu ko bitim la mooy référence la bi nekk Sénégal
waaw waaye Mr Ndiaye ñun kañ la ñoo graduate si lii di enn suñ sample si di ko yóbbu si yeneen dëkka kañ la ñoo toog ba di testal fii suñ boobu because time amul
day use référence la boobu pour West Africa yëpp la
West Africa yëpp a ko bokka
waaw yëpp la waaw mooy référence la mooy soo gisee référence la mooy dëkk yëpp seen lab yëpp seen lab yi mooy seen lab yi kilifa moo nekk Dakar.
waaw
so loolu boobu leer na
moom nekkul ne Gambie rek ñoo koy yóbbu seen sample.
waaw
soo ko demee di nga gis réew bari ñu ngi yóbbu seen sample si.
waaw Ndiaye bugga nañ pour tam nga leeral. maanaam age gap bi comme xale yi ban at la dee mun a téye gaay 5 years la 10 years la ak mandarga jàngoro bii nii mooy feebar bi ndaxte loo leen mention ngeen ne kidney injury mooy maanaam gaañu si kidney bi.
waaw dëgg la léegi lu ñu xale yoo xam ne ñu ngi juróomi at ba si suuf la de gën a ñoom la de gën a lor. te ñoo ngi nag seen xale yooyu nag ñooñu xam nañ ne seen yarami soldaar yi nekk dëggaduñ si diggante boobu soo nekkee juróomi at ba si suuf dafa mel ne xale nga say soldaar yi yooyu xam ne ñoo la war a dimbale sa yaram bi yooyu yëpp dañ tuuti am na kay amuñ doole dañ néew doole mënuñoo aar yeneen feebar mënuñoo xëy yeneen feebar moo tax ñoo ngi la de gën a sonal xale boo xam ne am na woccu mu ngi woccu xale boo xam ne biir baa ngi daw boobu dafa gaaw pour mu gën a wékk su li fi ne si néew doole rek da ngaa gis ne feebar bu ñoo daf koo gën a sonal te loolu moo tax lii lañ wax ne pour ñu ngi bàyyi seen xel si loolu yaram bi bu tàngee xale bi biir bu daw après nga gis ne xale bi tamit mu gis ne daal mu ngi woccu toujours ñi di fànn yi moo lay gën a sonal xale su jógul lu gaaw rek xale bi mun naa dee sa law
dëgg la
biir bu daw dafa gaaw a rey xale
waaw
woccu bi toujours mu ngi yaa ngi xale baa ngi woccu bu ko lu mu lekk daf koo génnee doo tax mun na koo leer su gaaw yaram bu tàng sax mun na koo rey lu gaaw donc li moo tax ñu ne ñu seet lii lañ war a seet pour ñu gis ne ñu mun a daw leptaan si lu gaaw
28 out of 35 loolu we should not take it lightly. I mean it calls for an alarm.
mooy suñ case definition.
Mr. Njie xaw ma ndax mun nañ ko lifin si soose rek pour suñ mbokki soose yi ñu mun a understand.
no problem. comme mbe mu fokan dong.
Hade mbe boy kan.
Abe mo kan okay. Sa mbe mu fokan mo le dong comme dong. Sasa min fitarem dinnugol to nga kibarol mole kibarol min solo jama bije hakilo bi si wato jama bije fanan ikijoye fara jama bije hakilo man tankundi so me mum fala mo do mo be hakilo tankun mo kijo kane fara kibarol mi an ka so le tanol to adon ka bin kibarol ni nada fanan ba tenten kane ka jibe mun ngeen ta ken wala so walan koku na fin taron fu mole nga lokku akwe diko ni man lokku kuwe jama ci kuke na mun sat na mo kijo se fara wala na le tan do ko la clinician ol ni kabre kibaro so to don e fane bela on jija ka je ko kula mi kerde mi ko man malon ku ni kula mi ka afam na mana je dal mi ko min ka dino bata tan ka dino fa tan ka dino tora tan so kabre o kada doron na rajo ko mo tan sabani lulu wala molti mango wal jeta bare wo mol min fana jedo ke mo tan sabani fulo ni wala molti mango na kibaro ngamin hayma wala bulato kono wala mo mi anko dinnol mi anko sanji lulu kata duma anin dinnol mi anko abalo kandita ado kono kan anin akono ba bay kan tabi wala ta doro ngaje ko nyimo tan sabani fulo wala bulato kono bara mo tan sabani fulo kono mo ni sey fan nata mi onata tuo kono wala dinnol mi anko mo ni sey nata bangol kono so mo ni sey fanan to mando janobe ga nga sample fan ta dol tole jane banna mo warulati kabi nga sample ta ko don kon ka jego ka ki o sample fana nara da wadi fana ki baro scholar so da jamba fala mole mune ni courant ni mune ma sababoti mune na ni courant so da dinol to o to mina wala ka mol ya mara ko la bare ambe tembo min to sa mol ngeen tam min kala drong wala m kaaje ko mo moronde yengi suude dino ye fen suude dino do dino maga ba sanyu lu kada duma e fen suuda bala mimbo ko balakando kono bayo anin fono dukare kana si suwo kono ye kuke mango askana dino to ra kono nga try do ye buri ye ta leftando juna pour dino se dale kenda sotno ye leftanta juno ko mata bagal nin si la suwo kono fonga wat do ta mialan ko dino badal no wala e ku do ta mialan ko mado ko bawo mbadanga munya do mon janne kanu jama jaw dino bon balakando so mon day ka wala mbadanga munya wularo sama leptan won dino balakanda wularo sabe badon na la so mon dan sina sama leptan
to nyaala
wato kono e be tardo min ka don ko se man to sama dino so dinno dinni ngani ko be sanjilu ko ta duma e balakando so ta bala yaaji ka be fono kan ali yaaji ko kono ba bay kan dukare kana si so kono ibamba ta leptan wala ba mako la ina mon ki baro leptan mole nim mole mako pour be mako la pour ka je ko dinnol mine sa sur nun to ka be jun karotil monni nani kana sayente mo anin fana dinol miango fana tumando mba sudal anin mon miango ni ka fura nyoka science na long ni sample na den sinaro sai ni courant nyam muna mala sababu sina ferol lan be mo klam tan ne pour ka joge fan tan nyami
yo
Mr. Njie abaraka bake
ala baraka
abaraka bake
to nyalem jena ya moy le Mr. Njie min foje o mo fennete me yalon ko akumayata bake woto mba fala ya barka
abaraka bake Mr. Modu Njie. So viewers, it seems this is all we have time for. So please do not hesitate if you see the signs. It's fever, you know, diarrhea, you know, and just something unusual. Bulen harsa, because you know what? Leader they evolve, so they viral, that they change pattern.
Bepare, ñu moytu nak légui ko as far as health ministry bi wax nañ ko. nañ moytu xale yi di sangu si taw bi
ba pare sax
waaw nawet bi nañ moytu bu
xale yi di koñi xale yi di possibility ku nekk na nga téye sa doom because xam nga disease COVID-19 bu mu génnee naka la fa demee woon xamuñu woon lan la nit ñi di génna noonu la waale soo xamuñ ndax bactérie la na viral la ku nekk téyel sa doom nga sanga ko bem set mu toog si kër bi ay foyi si biti sax am
35 loolu bëri na yàlla nam em
waaw fo bi daal na yaayi téye seen doom yi fo bi duñ ko fi accept na ku nekk dem sanga sa doom téye sa doom si kër bi jarul dem foyi sax parce que nga ñu contrôle suñ doom yi du yaayi rek sax papa yi anti ñëpp si am stake du yaayi kese everybody yaay bi buy tooga papa bi jël responsibility bi pour xool doom bi
nga def ko ni man
nga def ko ni yow mbaa waaw yee mbaa dégit
man dama dee bambaane
mbaa dégit xam nga démb wax nga fi ne da nga bokkoon Red Cross
xam naa ne lii foog nga dem nga
man Red Cross bii dinaa ko research seetati ko
rek
baax na anyway
ñun ñoo doon téye li fi nii
ñoo doon lii
nit su daanoo ñun ñoo dee
yéen a ko dee téye anyway so balaa ñoo tàggatoo just to remind you all that the makeup products that I've started using are from Ya Lady. As you can see, skin tone looking good, looking fly. So if you need products,
no sweat.
Just head right onto them. And noonu la fii daal uyuma suñ business yi ñu ñoo support ñun loolu lañ ko comme nu ko yeneen dëkk yi di defee rek. So till we come your way tomorrow with another interesting show.